welcome to another yoga studio. I am Kat, for those of you who haven't joined me before, and it is lovely to have everyone on the mat with me today for our slow flow yoga. So this slow flow is for when you're feeling a little bit under the weather and maybe don't want to get stuck in and do a super fast, dynamic, heavy session, or it's a little bit hot and you want to move but maybe without the usual amount of energy that you might put into a normal, faster flow session. So it is really hot here today. I have got a lot of windows open, so I'm going to apologise if there is a little bit of background noise from the road outside. Okay, so when you're ready, we are going to come to a comfortable seated position. So grab a cushion or a block if you need it to sit on. You can sit cross-legged if you want, or take the legs into a different position if you prefer. Have a wriggle, take a bit of movement there just to help you settle into your space on the mat. And then our hands are either on our thighs or coming onto our lap as we just take a few breaths to center and ground here before our flow. Just finding your breath, noticing your inhale and exhale. And then see if you can let it flow in and out through the nose. No worries if that doesn't work for you today. And then we're noticing that space in the chest, maybe in the belly where your breath is moving and expanding. And then wiggle your fingers, starting to open your eyes. Come round onto all fours. So we've got the knees under the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. Starting with a cat stretch as you exhale, slowly round up. Inhale, turn the tailbone up, draw the shoulders back. Allowing the spine to flow with the breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to round up, just send the hips back, come to a child's pose for a moment. Maybe take a little rock there, or sway, perhaps the head's going to roll from side to side on the mat. And then reaching the hands out in front of you if they're not there already, push back up to tabletop. We're tucking the toes under. Exhale, lift up and back to downward facing dog. So give yourself a little pedal out here. Grounding down through both hands. Allow the feet to settle on the floor. Maybe the heels touch, maybe the knees lengthen, maybe they don't. And then just slowly walk your hands up to the top of your mat. Allow the body to fall forwards, maybe keeping a big bend in the knees. And then as you exhale, we're tucking the tailbone under. Slowly rounding all the way up, standing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take it all the way down towards the floor. We're going to step back with the right leg. Drop the right knee. Lift the chest up, bring the hands in the lower back. So maybe it feels good to just lift the chest a little here. Allow the hips to rock forwards. If you feel like you need to stay more central over the hip, with the hip over the knee rather, then that's fine. Exhale, take it all the way down. Bring the knees and the feet together and slowly lower down on the exhale to the floor. Inhale, bring the elbows in under the shoulders so you find a Sphinx pose. Melt the shoulders down the ribs. Take one more breath in here. And then we're going to exhale, push back to child's pose again. So just take your time, moving with your breath. Apologies. I have a little bit of a runny nose, so if I keep on having to wipe my nose, I do apologise. Reach the hands back out in front. Push back up onto your hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, and as you exhale, lift up to downward facing dog. Inhale in downward facing dog, and then find a way of bringing your right foot towards the front of the mat and releasing the left knee down. Lift up the chest, bring the hands on the lower back. And again, we can take that little lift of the heart. Allow the hips to press forwards if we feel like opening through the front of the body a little bit more. Or we can stay more stacked with the knee over the ankle. Maybe just walking the foot in a little if you need to make sure we stay in that lunge position through the front leg. Good. Release the hands down and send the right foot back to join the left. We're going to bring the knees in underneath the hips, walk the hands out so you come to a puppy dog pose. Melt the shoulders away from the ears so they slide away around the rib cage. Press through the fingers and the palms. Inhale when you're ready, come forward so you can bring your shoulders back over your elbows. We're back to our Sphinx pose. Melt the shoulders away from the ears again, this time pulling them down the back of the rib cage. Press through the thighs, the forearms, the hands, the fingers. And then we're going to breathe out, walk the hands back in and come back to child's pose. Just moving as slowly as we want, luxuriating in that movement from one pose to the other. So keep the arms in front or bring them back round by the feet. Yoga's choice. Breathe deep here. Even though we're not taking our yoga perhaps as fast or as vigorously as we normally do, that doesn't mean to say we can't lose our intention and attention, our intention and attention to the breath. Slowly round up, coming all the way through to a high kneeling position. And we're going to step forwards with the right foot, reaching the right foot out in front. Flex the foot, and then we can stay here up nice and high, or exhale, fold forwards, come to a half split position. Pulling that right hip back, squaring the left hip out so that we're not twisting out to that right side. When you're ready, exhale, round up. Bring the right knee back in underneath your hips so we can take the hands on the lower back. Inhale, lift the chest up, squeeze the front of the hips up to the ceiling too. So a camel pose. Exhale, release. Send the left leg out in front. Turn up the toes. Again, you've got the option of staying here or exhaling, folding, coming into our half split, our runner's lunge. So keep the belly reaching forwards, chest reaching forwards if you're folding. We want to keep the spine nice and long. Good, walk the hands in, lift up with the chest and bring the knee back in underneath the hips. We're going to take the hands on the lower back again, lift the hips up, lift the chest up nice and high and open for a second camel pose. If you wish to go that little bit further and bring the hands to point towards the heels or touch the heels, then you can. And then we're bringing the hands back onto the lower back, squaring ourselves out and exhaling, dropping the hips back to find another child's pose, rounding forwards. Again, you can take the hands in front of you or the hands behind the feet. Maybe even create a little pillow with your hands for your head. And then slowly take it all the way back up, releasing the feet one way, the hips the other, so we can stretch the feet out in front. And we're going to take ourselves into boat pose. Just give ourselves a little bit of core work. So even though we're working slow, doesn't mean we can't find a little bit of strength. So hands are coming in around the backs of the knees. We'll tip over the tailbone and sit nice and long through the crown of the head. As you exhale, draw the belly in. Squeeze your thighs up in towards your chest. Let go with the hands. Maybe the toes lift a little. Exhale, hands around the backs of the thighs, feet to the floor, just round forwards. The head dropped towards the knees, maybe opening the knees just a little, creating some space for the chest and the head to fall through. So we're going to try that one more time. Find the backs of the thighs, sit tall. Take that little tip over the tailbone, squeeze the belly in towards the thigh, or the thighs towards the belly. Reach the hands out in front. As you exhale, maybe the feet lift again. Maybe they extend all the way up to the ceiling this time. Maybe the arms reach up. If you want to stay with the knees bent and just hold around the backs of the thighs, then you can. Try bringing the hands around the back of the head. Squeeze the shoulders back and the elbows back. Release the hands, find the backs of the thighs, take the feet down and just round forwards. Good, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Take the hands behind you and just windscreen wipe the knees from side to side. And then come back, stretching the legs out in front. Sit nice and tall, inhale, reach the arms up, and as you exhale, fold forwards, pressing the belly and the chest forwards. Find a forward fold, taking it just as far as you feel comfortable. So if that means sitting up a little higher, we're going to sit a little higher. So you can then work on pressing forwards, finding that length through the back of the legs, but keeping the line through the spine. Sit up nice and tall. Reach the arms back behind you, clasp the hands together, lift the chest, reach the arms away. And then let the hands go. We're going to roll all the way back down towards the floor, open the arms out, and as you exhale, roll the knees to the right. Inhale there, and then as you exhale, roll the knees to the left. Inhale on the left side, and then just following the breathing, exhaling, rolling one way, and then the other. Head is working away from the knees. As the knees go one way, head goes the other. So one more roll to the right. And then one more roll to the left. Come back into the centre. So we're going to walk the feet to the edges of the mat. Keep them here if this feels like a good place for today. Otherwise, walk the feet away from you. And just allow yourself to melt back to the floor. As we just pause for a moment in our Shavasana. Just taking a bit of time to absorb the work. And reset the body and the mind.
you'd like to stay here for longer, please do. Hit the pause button now and just relax on the mat as long as you wish. Otherwise, we're going to move our fingers and our toes, our hands and our feet. Stretching the arms back past your head. Take a full body stretch and then hug the knees up in towards your chest. Rocking there from side to side until you feel ready to roll all the way round onto a side. And slowly make your way up to a seated position. Just sit any way that feels comfortable, and then inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the hands down through center, bowing the head to the fingers. Sealing our practice in with Namaste. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and you felt like you got a little bit of movement and stretching in, but without feeling like you had to create too much of your own heat in your body or work too hard if it is hot or you are just feeling like you don't want to work too hard today. Alright, so leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video or any comments or questions below. And as ever, make sure you hit that subscribe button now if you haven't already, so that you can join me next time on the mat. Alright, take care now. Bye.